successful second day of the historic 2-week sit-at-home, which is targeted at the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, preparation for the self-referendum, and to also put to the world on notice that Biafra people are ready to take their own future and their freedom into their own hand, and then also to make sure that we invalidate the legitimacy of those who parade themselves as the elected officials within the Biafra territory. I thank you all this evening. When you see me this way or looking this way, it means that the Biafra Liberation Army activities has been activated to the full scale of the defense of Biafra. And in the past days, the Biafra Liberation Army has engaged the Nigeria Islamic Terrorist Army, police, and some of them who always derive joy in killing Biafrans at will. Today, I can assure you that it is no longer business as usual. The self-defense of Biafra has been activated and will continue to neutralize them. Yesterday, the Biafra Liberation Army neutralized 3 armored tanks of the Nigerian Terrorist Army in Biafra land. Many of them were neutralized, and they know that it is no longer business as usual. We will continue to fight to defend our land until the last day that Biafra will remain or stay in Nigeria. This particular broadcast this evening has become imperative to address many issues that are being paraded and shared on social media, especially on the issue of the 2-week sit-at-home. I want to inform Biafrans that those who do not understand what is going on, Biafra Republic government in exile and the de facto government in homeland has come to stay. It is the last phase to freedom. And today, I can proudly tell Biafrans that a lot of success has been recorded from the Biafra Republic government in exile and the de facto government in the homeland. We have read all manner of propagandas coming from the Nigeria, sponsored by the Nigeria state, especially coming from those expelled criminals who have spent over 13 years deceiving Biafrans in the name of fighting for freedom. At the end of the day, they sold our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to the terrorist state. And they tried everything possible to kill the struggle, but here we are today, giving them back to back. So Biafran people, I want you to understand that today we have activated the Convention of Montevideo, which Nigeria or even Africa is not signatory to, but it is part of the prerequisite requirement to validate a government. Today, we have fulfilled many requirements to be recognized as a government. And that's where we are going. In October 2023, we are having the first ever Biafra self-referendum convention. It is a convention that we are going to discuss and lecture Biafrans on what to expect during the self-referendum and how the self-referendum will be conducted in line with international laws, in line with international treaties, in line with the most accepted democratic process, giving the people the right to decide their future. And on that note, I want to inform Biafra people today that the Article 1 of that convention has been activated with full force. And at the same time, the Article 20 of the African Charter on Human Rights and People Rights has also been activated, and Biafra people are exercising that right, and we are going to exercise it very soon during the self-referendum of the Biafra people. I also want you to understand that in the coming days, you are going to be faced with a lot of propaganda sponsored by the Nigerian state. You can see that during the sit-at-home, a lot of lies were told, and they will continue to tell those lies. Just make sure you stand very resolute, stand very strong. We are winning, and we will continue to win until the day we are going to redeclare Biafra. I want you all to understand that the Biafra Republic government in exile inauguration will happen in September. After that, we will activate in full force the de facto government in the homeland. But first of all, I want you all to understand that the Montevideo Convention of 1933 by the South American state, the Article 1 made it very, very clear how the international law should possess the qualification to define what a state is all about. How will you be recognized as a state? There are qualifications that the international community must recognize before you can be called a state. And I want to inform Biafra people that we have gone through these processes. Today, many people do not understand that freedom fighting in the 21st century is something you do with brain, it's something you do with wisdom, it's something you do with knowledge, it's something you do also with experience. Many experience you have to also make sure that you utilize them while fighting for the freedom of your people. And on this note, the state, the Article 1 of this convention, demonstrates how you can qualify to be called a state, or how you can be qualified to be called a country, or what should qualify you to be recognized by international community, even when some people may not recognize you, or some organization may not recognize you. But the qualification to be recognized as a state is 1. You must have a permanent population. Biafra has demonstrated that we have a permanent population. In addition to this, the Biafra Republic government in exile in the coming weeks will unveil the Biafra registration and the National Identity Registration of Biafra Republic, which is going to be completely online. That is going to help the Biafra people to lay the database of the Biafra Republic. Number 2, for you to have the qualification to be recognized as a nation, you must define your territory. I want to inform Biafra people today that the Biafra Republic government in exile and the de facto government in the homeland has defined the Biafra territory with a new edited map. Number 4, the government. For you to be recognized internationally, you must form a government. And I want to inform Biafra people today that we have formed a government. We did not just form a government, we have formed the Biafra Republic government in exile government, and we have also formed the de facto government in the homeland. Number 4, before you can be recognized as a nation, especially when you are fighting to liberate your people like the Biafra people are fighting today, you must have the capacity to enter into relation with other states. Today, we have demonstrated and demonstrated that we have the capacity to enter into inter-treaties and sign alliances with different states. And we continue to maintain the alliances with Ambazonia. We will continue to maintain alliances with others who are secretly supporting the Biafra liberation movement. And in the coming months, as the case may be, they will be coming openly to make statement based on what Biafra will be doing. I want Biafra people to understand as well that this is not just about the military aspect of it, it is also a democratic aspect of this Biafra liberation. And for that reason, we have activated the Article 20 of the African Charter of People and Human Rights. The African Charter of People, the African Charter of Human and People Rights, Article 20 state that all peoples shall have the right to existence. They shall have the unquestionable and the inalienable right to self-determination. They shall freely determine their political status and shall pursue their economic and social development according to the policy they have freely chosen. I want everyone to pay attention to this. The Article 20 of the African Charter made it very, very clear, and that's exactly what the Biafra Republic government in exile is doing today. And we have fulfilled all this requirement, and we are ready to showcase the Biafra government and the nation to the world, which is going to be happening simultaneously in the coming weeks and months. I also would like to address those doubting Thomases who do not understand that Biafra has invested in arms and ammunition. That going forward, those who come with jet, we will begin to shoot them down. I am telling you the fact. Fly on the airspace of Biafra to throw bombs on our people, we will shoot you down. I want to also inform Biafra people, for those who are sharing fake letters and fake news, claiming it is emanating from Biafra, leader of indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, disregard them. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu continued to be the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, and he will continue to be the leader, but at this point, he can't lead from captivity of the enemy. I want everyone to understand this particular point very clear. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in DSS, what it means is that the over 70 million Biafrans are in the DSS. And we cannot fall for the trap that I have set with those who parade themselves as freedom fighters. Taking order or any instruction from the DSS dungeon where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being incarcerated means that entire Biafra is being caged by the not accept. What we are doing in the interest of the over 7 as long as Nigeria continue to detain Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. When he is free, he is going to address Biafrans, and then we will know where we are going to go and how we are going to continue from there. But at this point, he continued to be the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, but we are not going to allow the DSS to give order through him to the Biafra people. The idea of arresting or kidnapping him from Kenya and extraordinarily renditioning him to Nigeria was to end the Biafra struggle and to end the freedom fighting for Biafra. And that has failed woefully. And remember that we said we are not going to allow Nigeria state to succeed. Today, we have defeated them. You have defeated them. Your resilience, your steadfast, your genuinity in the Biafra liberation has made it possible for us to defeat Nigeria. And this victory belongs to you. And I want every one of you to stand very strong, to know that what you are doing is to safeguard your future, to safeguard the future of your children, the future of your generation unborn. And you owe them that duty of care. Do not allow anybody to deceive you. We will not and we will never allow the DSS to dictate how the freedom of 70 million people will be fought. It is not possible. If you fall for that scam, believe me, you will never be free from Nigeria. And I know that over 99% of Biafrans understand that it is time we'll tell the DSS and the Nigeria Islamic State that no, you can't dictate how we liberate ourselves from you. Anything coming from the DSS, anything coming claiming that it comes from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, no, it is coming from the Nigeria state. And it can never favor the struggle for Biafra. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be released. And if they don't release him, after these 2 weeks at home, we are coming with more stringent measures how to deal with the Nigeria state. And this time around, we will make sure that we target the Nigeria state. The government, the revenue, everything is what we are targeting this time around. I want you to understand that there is no going back in this movement. We will continue to crash the economy of the Nigeria terrorist state. We will make sure that before oil exploited from Biafra land, they are going to suffer. I want you to understand there is a wave of change in the entire Africa. Military coup happening here and there, and a lot of things are happening. Believe me, it is not a coincidence. Something is happening, and something is going to happen to Nigeria very soon. And Nigeria will never survive the wave that is coming from this week, starting from this week. So, Biafra people, no matter the propaganda that the enemy brought to you, or the enemy are going to bring forward from tomorrow, remember, you can never take order from anybody coming from the Nigeria state. Most of the lawyers have sold out. Most of the lawyers are there for business. Most of the lawyers are just there for their profession. And some of them, you know, Nigeria is a very corrupt country. Some of them being threatened. Some of them doing it for business. But one thing is very, very certain. We are fighting for Biafra freedom. We are fighting to save the people of Biafra. Remember that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not the only person in DSS dungeon. There are many, many people in DSS dungeon, Biafra people. So as we are demanding for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we are also demanding for the release of all the Biafra agitators and fighters that are this evening. I want to tell you not fall into and say that. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu never said anything. What they are trying to do is to create enemy and to create confusion and disagreement and misunderstanding between us and the Kanu. Never see who we don't know with him. And trying to do
people in the area that is what they are there for. But if energy boys then think that they can put head, they say make they put head, say na woto to na go be the end of the matter. Meanwhile, let's go to what is happening in Anambra State. Anambra police arrest 129, recover 5 stolen vehicles, 26 guns as IGP announces amnesty period for gunmen. Operation of the Anambra Police Command recorded major results following the arrest of 129 suspects involved in kidnapping, armed robbery, and vandalizing of materials used in construction of the just concluded second Niger Bridge project. A breakdown of the figure shows that 30 suspect 30 suspected to be members of insurgent group were arrested, 39 armed robbery suspects arrested, and 22 kidnap suspects were also arrested. Also, a total of 26 guns, 39 rounds ammunition, and 25 stolen vehicles used for kidnapping, 34 tricycles, 7 motorcycles, and 1 full armored cable, as well as 16 iron grill from Second Niger Bridge were recovered during its operation. Parading the suspect, the Anambra Police Commissioner, Mr. Aderemi Adoye, said one of the most serious cult killers was traced to Enugu and arrested as its hideout and is now in police custody, and his confession was made bugging. He also disclosed that his gang has killed 4 persons in Oka, including a staff of Blue Shield security outfit who he alleged was a member of a rival cult group. We also smashed the insurgent camp in Ogunka Community, Orumba South local government area last Saturday. We started the operation that led to the crackdown of some 2 months ago, and it was based on an intelligence report that they were trying to kidnap a divisional police officer (DPO) in the area. We commenced investigation to ensure that no innocent life was lost, and we made some arrests and interrogated them, and the crew led us to the camp, which was smashed last Friday. We made sure that the evil plan was not carried out, and we put measures to protect the DPO, and we are trailing the gang leader who is currently at large to ensure that he is arrested soon. The gang that specialized in intercepting commercial vehicles were arrested at Amoka, Ihala, and we also arrested 5 of the gang members that hijacked an 18-seater bus heading to Lagos and rescued the passengers and facilitated their return to Lagos. Last week, an anti-cult team intercepted 3 suspected cultists on a bike and recovered a pistol from them at Nsugbe, he said. Adoye further announced that the command is on the trail of those that kidnapped the chairman of Amazon Market 2 weeks ago and has not released the victim after collecting a ransom of 5 million from his relatives. He noted that the command cannot release findings from its preliminary investigation as it will jeopardize the manhunt for the suspects. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police has given amnesty to those involved in illegal possession of firearms, adding that after the period of amnesty, anyone found to have guns in his custody will face the wrath of the law. Confirming this development, Adoye noted that there was no stipulated time when the amnesty will end, but urged members of the public to turn in their guns to the nearest police station, and that DPOs and area commanders have been directed not to arrest or intimidate anyone that came to hand over guns. My people, now don't see as it dey happen. All these happenings are right in the land of freedom. This is where all these happenings are taking place, and I believe that you are overjoyed to have been receiving this information, and also well articulated and sourced information from our channel. Remember, don't touch the dial because this is where you need to be. Family of lawyer shot by police officer reacted to death sentence. The family of Rahim Bolanle, a lawyer who was killed by police officer Vandi Darami on December 25th, has responded to the judgment of the Lagos State High Court, which sentenced her killer to death by hanging. Justice Ibironke Harrison handed down the verdict, finding Assistant Superintendent of Police ASP Ram Bivadi guilty of murder of the Lagos-based lawyer Omolalen Rahim. Speaking on behalf of Rahim family, lawyer Olakitan Agbaje expressed satisfaction with the judgment. She acknowledged that their loved ones cannot be brought back, but stated that they are satisfied to know that the person responsible for her death is behind bars and will face punishment for their crime. Agbaje said the incident of December 25, 2022 will forever remain a tragedy for the Rahim family, as it has changed the lives of many people, including her husband, daughter, and many others who loved her. However, justice has been served. Within a 10-month period, Justice Harrison delivered her judgment, and the accused has been sentenced to death by hanging. We believe that this is a step towards reducing the pain for the family member. The chairman of the Lagos State chapter of the Nigerian Bar Association also welcomed the court's judgment. Lawyer BC Makanjuala expressed hope that this kind of ruling will serve as a warning to errant officers who believe they can mistreat citizens without consequences. Makanjuala added that the NBA is advocating for the swift delivery of justice. During the court hearing, the judge presented a summary of their findings. The judge read that two police officers at the scene of the incident confirmed that they had indeed flagged down lawyer Balanji Rahim's vehicle around the Aja under bridge. The two officers testified in court that one of them initially flagged down the vehicle, but it did not stop until the next police officer also flagged it down. The two officers testified that they had gunshot but did not witness police officer Vandy pulling the trigger. An autopsy performed on the deceased revealed that a bullet was found in the body of the late lawyer Bolandi. The police officer pleaded not guilty in court, and approximately 27 exhibits were tendered during cross-examination. Officer Vandy told the court that he was approximately 100 meters away from the vehicle and could not have pulled the trigger from such a close range with his AK-47. He also claimed that if he had fired the weapon, the bullet would not have remained in the deceased's body due to the type of gun he was carrying that day, suggesting that street boys may have been responsible for the gunshot. However, during a cross-examination, the court revealed that Officer Vandy was not the only witness who claimed not to have heard the sound of the gunshot, instead suggesting that street boys were responsible for loud noises. The court established that a gunshot had indeed killed lawyer Bolanle and the bullet entered her chest. It was also established that witnesses confirmed hearing gunshots when the incident occurred and the death was instantaneous. The court held that the defendant, Vandy, was the only person in the vicinity who could have shot the deceased, and it could not have been a loud noise as suggested by the officer. Therefore, the court found the defendant, Vandy, guilty. Rahim and her family were returning from a Christmas service on December 25, 2022, when the incident occurred near Aja on the bridge. Mrs. Bolanle's husband was driving and she was seated in the front passenger seat. The police officer asked them to park, and as they were attempting to park properly, the officer suddenly shot her at close range, right into her chest. The husband of the lawyer, whose name is not mentioned, stated that he and his wife, along with their children and other family members, were coming from church when the incident occurred. He explained that after leaving the church, they decided to go out and enjoy themselves. They went to a supermarket in Abraham Adesina to buy ice cream and later bought pizza. As they were heading home, the incident occurred. He described the events, saying, "As we left the place, we started heading towards Aja to make a U-turn and go back to Abraham Adesina. When we made the U-turn, we saw policemen stopping some vehicles. As we approached them, they asked us to stop, and in the process, we heard a loud sound on my wife's side window. All of a sudden, I saw blood coming from her chest. I immediately got out of the car. My sister-in-law, who was with us, also got out and held the policeman. He cocked his gun to shoot her too," he continued. "It didn't make sense to argue with him, so I went to see if there was anything I could do to help my wife. I saw her struggling for breath, and by that time, my sister-in-law had brought the policeman into the car and pushed him into the front seat. We drove to a hospital, but they said they couldn't handle the situation, so we took her to Grantsville Hospital, where her death was confirmed." My people, una don't see as it happen. This one is a kind of lesson to other police officers who pull trigger anyhow. And I think Nigerian government or police force, before employing these police officers, make sure they go through the proper training, check also their psychological condition in order to be able to ascertain whether this kind of people are fit for the job. Meanwhile, I'll be winding down the curtain here, and if this is your first time of joining us on this wonderful channel, kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, you will be the first to collect it. Thank you for listening. God bless you.